Garden Care A to Z is brought to you by Effecto.
Welcome to Garden Care A to Z. My name is Bimray. Today we're going to be talking about indoor plants. There's very little doubt that a beautiful, healthy indoor plant can certainly enhance the aesthetic of your home and lift your interior decor. The most important consideration when choosing plants for your home is understanding the light conditions. For example, this magnificent moth orchid. This requires medium to bright light. It needs watering once a week, which is quite an important thing to remember. And just a tip about the moth orchid: don't get water onto the leaves of the plant. Get your water directly onto the soil and let it run right through so that the entire potting medium is moist. So how do we know which plants require how much light? Read the label. The growers will give you some indication of how much light each plant needs with instructions on the back of the label. Take, for example, the orchid. This specimen requires medium to bright light. It will flower for a long time. It flowers up to 3 months. It needs watering once a week. Make sure that the water drains right through the potting medium, and that will be sufficient to water the plant. And then, of course, when you have really nice bright areas in your home, this magnificent flamingo flower will take care of that. Isn't that just beautiful? This needs watering every 10 days and certainly will be very happy with once a month feeding as well. Then for very low light areas, this specimen of a peace lily, and we will plant this one up. This chap also, moist conditions, requires quite a nice moist soil, so bathrooms are actually ideal because obviously a lot of moisture in the bathroom and nice temperature. For all the indoor plants, we really want is a very stable temperature condition, somewhere between 18 and 25 degrees. Now let's show you the correct way to pot up a plant. We're going to use gravel, we're going to use a membrane, and of course the correct potting medium. Potting up a plant is all about the drainage. Firstly, we need a pot with a decent drainage hole. Then, of course, we need to stop everything from running through that drainage hole. Lovely way to do it is a little fabric. This is a plant fabric, will allow water to come through, but will stop the soil and the stones from spilling out through the drainage hole. It's already been cut to size. We place the fabric in place, and then we're going to put in some gravel, which will then give us a nice base to start off our drainage. Not too much of it, but we want a decent layer to ensure that we have credible drainage at the bottom. Step 2, we're going to be using river sand. Now, river sand will give us that extra element and will stop the potting soil from running through the stone. Also allow water to drain through nice and evenly. We then need a really nice, friable, well-drained potting soil. And you can tell by the color that this is well composted, well rotted, and a nice fine potting soil. Of course, the size of the pot is also important. It has to allow space for the plant you're putting in for the roots to develop and grow. And of course, planting depth is quite important. Make sure that the soil is not higher than the soil in the pot. We can tease the roots a little bit. Don't disturb them too much, but just get them going again. Yeah, that's right. Now we can fill her up. And ensure that as you're planting, press down firmly and make sure that the roots are in contact with the new soil. Lastly, we're going to water and give it some food. So we've potted up the plant. The next thing is we do need to feed the plant. Because it's in a container, as you're watering it quite regularly, the nutrients tend to drain out of the soil very, very quickly. So we need to feed at least once a month. A couple of different ways of doing this. First thing, we can use a liquid plant food, something like Seagrow, which is a fantastic all-round fertilizer. All you need is 1 teaspoon in 1 liter of water, and then apply that as a leaf spray. Then, of course, there's an even easier method, which is something called grow sticks. I'm using one for foliage plants. For this size pot, we need 4 sticks, and it is very simple. The grow sticks need to go halfway between the plant and the edge of the pot. And the depth, we want to push it in just below the level of the soil. And then water normally. So once every week, once every 10 days, for this kind of plant will be absolutely perfect. Our watering's all done. Our drip tray will catch the excess water. Now, with big leaf plants like this, they tend to collect quite a lot of dust. And because plants breathe through the leaves, we want to make sure that the leaves are kept nice and clean. And a great way to do this is a product called Wonder Wipes. And it's very simply a plant wipe, which we use to wipe the leaves of the plant. So holding your hand underneath nice and firm, very simply wipe across the surface of the leaf. Now we know all about indoor plants. We understand that light conditions are very important to your choice of plants. We understand that potting a plant, very simple steps. Drainage is very important. Really important though, because you're watering quite often, you have to feed your plants at least once a month. Watering, that depends on the plant, but as a general rule, every 7 to 10 days. We hope that this has inspired you to bring some indoor plants into your home and really liven up your home interior. Join us again on the next Garden Care A to Z for more hints and tips.
Garden Care A to Z is brought to you by Effecto.